Street protests, accusations of corruption and claims of incompetence. Thailand's military coup was supposedly staged to save the nation from such abuses. But 9 months on, the same charges are being levelled at the appointed government of Surya Chulanont. Even the promise of new elections by the end of the year is proving insufficient to calm the protesters. A constitutional tribunal found Thaksin Shinawat's Thai Rak Thai party guilty of electoral fraud.
Thai Rak Thai supporters have held daily rallies after the court found the party guilty of fraud. Under Thaksin Shinawat's populist social policies, Thai Rak Thai enjoyed support from more than 14 million people, most of them the rural poor, after the coup. Having created the tribunal that sentenced Thai Rak Thai, the regime faces the wrath of its supporters. Earlier this month, a 10,000-strong crowd gave an indication of how things could go.
And what the army did this morning was their aggressive tactics. They start shooting at unarmed civilians. Yes, some of us have to fire back in defense with handguns. There were, as of announced on Thai television, 70 people in the hospital with some deaths.
City demonstrators fighting back with firebombs and rocks. And this whole volatile situation has forced Prime Minister Abhisat Vejjajiva to declare a state of emergency, the third time in Thailand in 8 months. Behind all the violence, though, the protesters' demands are pretty simple. They want Prime Minister Abhisat to resign, and they want fresh elections to be held. And they have the support of that man, the former Thai Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawat, of course ousted back in 2006, but who retains a groundswell of support in Thailand. Right, let's explain some of the background here, because 2.5 years of political upheaval in Thailand means a very complicated trail has been left. First, the protest groups, perhaps offhandedly monikered as Thailand's colourful protesters. The red-shirted protesters are from the United Front of Democracy Against Dictatorship. They are against the current government, not necessarily pro-Thaksin. Some were actually quite vocal against him before he was ousted. And the protesters in the yellow shirts are from the People's Alliance for Democracy. They support the current government and are anti-Thaksin. All unravelled again. This man, the newly elected Prime Minister Samak Sundaravai, didn't last long. He violated a conflict of interest law by, of all things, hosting a cooking show while in office. He was thrown out. Then 3 months later, this man, his replacement, Somchai Wongsuwat, Thaksin's brother-in-law, he got thrown out, this time for neglecting his duties in a previous government job. And so this man, a third new Prime Minister, Abhisat Vejjajiva, who is now under real pressure, as we see, from those red-shirt protesters, to quit.
Giles Unbakorn is a liberal commentator and an academic who works at Bangkok's Chulalongkorn University. Police filed formal charges against him on January 20th. His crime? For insulting the king in a 2007 book criticizing the previous year's military coup. Unbakorn arrived at a Bangkok police station with dozens of supporters to hear the charges.
In Western democracies that have monarchies, full accountability and transparency is allowed. Therefore, one has to wonder what the purpose of the lèse-majesté law is. In my view, the lèse-majesté laws are there in order to protect the military, protect governments that come to power through military action and so on.
Insulting the monarchy is taken extremely seriously in Thailand. It carries up to 15 years in jail. An Australian author was sentenced to 3 years in jail on January 19 for defaming the Crown Prince in a 2005 novel that only sold 7 copies.
Protesters say their aim is to remove a government that they believe is a puppet of the former leader Thaksin Shinawat.
The police in Thailand are probably one of the most corrupt corps, in anywhere in the world. This is order from the permanent secretary. This is order to kill.
Sanan Mani Jansuk attends his local mosque as part of a civilian army trained by Thailand's military to round up illegal immigrants, especially the Muslim Rohingya. Although a Muslim himself, Saman has been convinced by the Thai authorities that the Rohingya, an ethnic minority from Myanmar and Bangladesh, pose a threat to Thailand's security. Thailand is at the center of shocking allegations of abuse against the Rohingya, A group rescued off the Indonesian province of Aceh claimed the Thai authorities towed them out to sea without their engine and cut them adrift with little food or water.
Violent and powerful leaders sometimes cannot be persecuted in their own country, where they can exercise so much power that the judiciary system, the process of law, justice does not exist, like it does not exist in Thailand right now.